In this video, I will be showing you 5 secrets of making a perfect single and double welt pocket. A welt pocket is an inset pocket type with its opening pointing upwards and has either a single welt or a double welt. A welt pocket can be attached to a jacket, a waistcoat, trousers and coat. Make sure you stick to this video to the end because you will be getting a lot of values in the course of this tutorial. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time of watching my video, this is Reggie School of Fashion. In today's tutorial, you will be learning the correct measurements required in making a welt pocket, how to avoid overlapping and squeezing of fabrics when constructing your welt pocket. Do good by subscribing to my channel, drop a comment and also give this video a thumbs up. Now, watching out on my videos is one of the major ways you guys can support my channel in bringing more relevant content to the table. Please don't skip those ads because that is the only way I get rewarded here on YouTube. With that being said, let's jump right into the tutorial. These are the pieces I will be using in constructing the double and the single welt pocket. So I'll be using this for the double welt and I'll be using this for the single welt. So I'll be starting with the double welt pocket. Now in making a welt pocket, so this is secret number 1. The first secret is to have a straight line drawn on your bodies. This has to be a tiny line that will not be too wide so that you will not end up having more than the required measurements for the width of your pocket welt. So which I've drawn on my bodies. The standard measurement for the pocket opening is 5 inches. You can make it lesser or more, okay, but the measurement you can use here, I have 5 inches, so you can make it more than 5 inches. You can use as much as 6 inches or reduce it to 4 to 4.5 inches. Now I have my 3 parallel lines drawn on my bodies. Here is the center line, this is the upper line, and this is the lower line. Okay, so from the center line to the upper line I use 0.5 centimeter. So I decided to use half centimeter because I don't want the pocket opening to be too wide. If I use quarter of an inch is more than half centimeter. So that is why I decided to use the centimeter side of my measuring tape. So which means for the width of my welt pocket is going to be 1 centimeter. Okay, you can use up to 0.75 of an inch. It all depends on how wide you want the welt to be. So that is secret number 1. So after drawing my lines, then I measured 0.75 inward from the center line. So this is the starting point from here to this point, 0.75. On the other side as well, 0.75. Then I connected that point to the starting point. You can see what I'm having here. So the same thing on the other side. So you will know the purpose of this as we proceed in this tutorial. Then I have my welt cut out. So these are the 2 pieces I will be using for my welt. I cut out 2 pieces because it is a double welt pocket. If I'm making a single welt, it's going to be a single welt. So for double welt, you need 2 pieces for your welt. Then I have my pocket bags. So this is the main fabric and this is the lining. Now to the secret number 2. After drawing a very clear line on your bodies, so the next step is to fuse your welt. This is very important. Fusing your welt will help your fabric to stay firm. It will not squeeze. So I fused mine. So this is the fused side of my fabric, so which I'm marking here. So that is the fused side. So the fused side is the wrong side, so which means you have to fuse the wrong side of your fabric. So here I have one welt bigger than the other. On the smaller one I have 2.5 inches, while on the bigger one I have 3 inches. So while the width of the welt is 7 inches, so you have to make the wideness of your welt more than the wideness of the pocket opening. The wideness of my pocket opening is 5 inches, and here I have 7 inches. Okay, so you need nothing less than 2 inches for the difference. That is 1 inch on both sides. You can make it 1.5 inches on both sides. Okay, then for the pocket bag, I used 8 inches for the wideness. Then for the length I used 7 inches. So after which I shaped the lower part to give me a round shape like so. Then I cut out the lining the same way. Though the lining and the fabric are not to be the same length, but that is not an issue. I can easily trim this off after constructing the pocket. So just to make this clearer enough for you guys, I've decided to cut it out using the same measurement. Now that I have all these cut out, so let's move to the secret number 3. Secret number 3 is to fuse the wrong side of the bodice. This is very important. No matter how thick your fabric is, make sure you fuse the wrong side of your bodice. In fusing the wrong side of my bodice, so which I have to get the exact area on the wrong side, so I will be pinning this like so. So this pin is going to be a guide for me on the wrong side, so that I will know where the markings falls. So don't forget, this is the right side of the bodice. So I'm using this pin as a guide. Okay, so after pinning like so, then I will turn it to the wrong side. So you can see what I have. Now I have a guide. I know my welt is around this area. Then make sure the fusible interfacing you will be using is wide enough to cover up the markings you have on the right side. So you can see what I have. So I'll just place it like so. I will make sure this falls at the center. I cover up the upper part of the pin and the lower part of the pin like so. So I will take this to my ironing board and I will give it a press in order to fuse this together with the fabrics. Now that I have the wrong side of my bodice fused properly, as you can see, so we can move to the next step. So the next step is to fold my welt into 2. Don't forget, the smaller one is 2.5 inches and I'll be folding 2 inches out of 2.5 inches. So I'm folding this towards the wrong side. Then on the right side, I will be having something like this. Please ignore these markings. So I will be having something like this. So I will be having half of an inch left like so. So which means I'm not folding equally. If I want to fold equally, I'll fold like so. So here I'm not folding equally. I'll be folding and I'll be leaving half of an inch left, which you will know the purpose as we proceed in this tutorial. So I'll fold it like so and I'll give it a good press. So I'll fold it and I'll give it a good press. Then on the bigger welt, I'll be folding 2 inches as well. So which means for the bigger welt, I will have 1 inch left. I will fold it like so and I will give it a good press. So I'll be doing this and I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, I have my welt ironed out, as you can see. So this is a smaller welt. This is the right side of my fabric. So please ignore these markings. So this is what I have on the wrong side. So this is the bigger welt. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. So the next step is to attach the welt to the bodies. Okay, so pay a closer attention to this. So you can see what I'm having. So this is another essential secret I will be sharing with you. If you don't get this right, your welt pockets will not come out well. Make sure you have the same value of measurements on the bodies and on your welt. It has to be equal. One must not be smaller than the other and one must not be bigger than the other. They have to be the same measurement. Here I used 1 centimeter for the opening of the welt. So I must have the same 1 centimeter here. So this is going to cover up for one side, so which means on each welt I will have half centimeter, half here and half here. Now for the sake of accuracy, I will be getting the midpoint of the lines I have on my bodies. So the midpoint will be 2.5 inches. I will mark the midpoint. Then at the lower part as well, I will mark the midpoint, which is here. Then on my welt, this is the bigger welt. I will hold it like so. You can see. So I will just mark just a point. So here I have the midpoint. So now I will be placing the midpoint on the midpoint. That is the upper part of the line. Now let me explain this so that you don't get confused. You can see I cut out this piece as a bodice just for the sake of this tutorial. So if you are placing this on your trousers, this is the upper part of your trousers. So this is going to be the waistline. If it is a jacket, this is the upper part. So this is the part you have the shoulder line, the neckline and the armhole. Okay, and if it is your coat, the same thing. If it is a waistcoat, the same thing. So what I'm having here is the lower part of the bodies. Okay, hope this is well explained. So now I have my welt like so. So the folded side is going to be on the line. You can see the remaining I have. You can see what I have. So this is facing towards the lower part of the bodies. Then I will make the center to meet the center. So with this, I can see the marked point I have on my bodies. I will just transfer that on the welt. You can see what I'm having. Okay, so once I have this done, I will take it aside. Then I will insert 0.5 centimeter. Also, when you are making these markings, make sure you have a very clear line and tiny lines, as this will help you to have your accurate measurements. Okay, then the mark point, I will extend it to get to the line I just drew. Make sure you have a straight line. This is very important. So now I will be placing this on the bodies. So here is the midpoint I marked out. Then I transfer this midpoint to the line I drew out, which is here. So this line is going to fall on this line. The line I drew out is going to fall on the upper line I have on my bodies. Okay, so in getting that easily, I will just take my sewing pin, then pinpoint that area at the center. Then the mark point at the middle I have on my fabric. I will hold the two together like so. You can see what I'm having. Then I will leave it. I will come to the side, the mark point I have on the line. So please take note of this. The blue line I drew out, the mark point I have there, which is here. I will pinpoint that area, then transfer that point to the upper part I have, the upper line I drew out on my bodies, like so. Okay, then on the other side, I'm repeating the same process. This will help you to have a perfect welt pocket. So this is the fourth secret. So this is secret number 4. Make sure you have equal lines drawn out on the bodies and on the welt. So now I'll be stitching on the line, this blue line. I will stitch from this point to this point. By the time I stitch, this is going to fall on this line. That is the upper line I have on my bodies. So guys, now I've attached one of the welts to the bodies, as you can see. So this is for the upper part, and I attached this to the upper line. Please do not make a mistake of attaching this to the middle line. You can see I have my middle line showing here, and I have the lower line showing here. Okay, and also when you are attaching your welt, make sure you did not exceed the starting point and you did not exceed the head point. Start exactly at the starting point, then end exactly at the end point. Now it's time to attach the second welt. So the second welt will be attached on the lower line, and I will be applying the same method. You can see the positioning of this. So this will position in the same direction as well. So I will flip this over. Then I will hold it down with my sewing pins. So this is for me to be able to see the line clearly. Okay. So I will be attaching this the same way I attached the upper welt. So guys, I've attached the second welt to the bodies. As you can see, I applied the same method. I make sure I started at the starting point and I did not exceed the end point, which is here. And you can see I have a straight stitch. So when you are stitching, make sure you stitch exactly on the line you drew. If your seam does not fall on the line, rip it off, then stitch again. This is very important. Now that I have the two welts attached to the bodies, the next step is to open the midline. So this is the middle line. I will be opening it up. Then don't forget, when I was drawing this line, I made a triangular line at this point, which I told you I will be explaining as we proceed in the course of this tutorial. Okay, so I have it here as well. So when I'm cutting, I will cut from the middle. I will stop at this marked point. Then I will cut from the middle as well. Then stop at the marked point. Okay, so I will be making an opening on the line, a little cut, not much, like so. Then I will open it up. So I will stop at the mark point on that side. On the other side as well, I will stop on the marked point. Now this is secret number 5. This is very important. Secret number 5, notch accordingly. Now I will be notching following the shape I drew out. That is a triangular shape, But in order to make this easier for you, I will be making these notches on the wrong side. It is a secret. On the wrong side, I will be able to see clearly where my seam stops on both sides, unlike the right side. On the right side, it is not that easier to figure out where the seam stops. But on the wrong side, I can easily locate where my seam stops, because your notches must be very close to your seam point, but it must not get to the point. So I will be transferring the triangular line from the stopped point here, like so, then to the other side. Then I will repeat the same process on this side as well. Okay, so now I will be notching. Make sure you separate your welts like so. I will notch very close to the seam, but I will not get to the seam point. So can you see what I'm having on the right side? Now that I've placed the notches accordingly, so the next step is to flip the welt to the wrong side.